Hi there everybody, it's Rob from Glas Data here, and we're just going to be going from where we left off in the last video, where we'd set up an alert to send us a daily summary of average CO2 readings for the day. Now in this video we're going to carry on using the timer functionality, but we're going to be using it to see if a sensor is still sending us data or whether something's gone wrong. And the way we're going to be doing that is we're going to be looking at the most recent piece of information that sensor sent us. And we're going to be seeing how long ago in the past that was, and if it was too far in the past, we're then going to send ourselves an email to say that this sensor has gone wrong. So to start with, I want to check how often my sensors are sending me data. And the easiest way, you can do this in two ways. You can go to the tool shed here, which is this icon with the spade and the wrench. And you can go into the IoT device connect plugin and you can see all your sensors and when they last sent you data. But quite often it's very easy just to go into the My Data section, which is this document icon, check the sensor. So if we go into the CO2 topic, go into the CO2 sensor, and then just check to see how often it's being sent data. And you can see we've got every half an hour we're being sent some information. So we know that this device, when it's operating normally, is sending us data every half an hour, and that's great. And we want to know, obviously, when it's not operating normally. So we want to say maybe if it hasn't sent data for perhaps 2 hours, then we start being concerned and we want to know about this, and we're going to take some action. Maybe replace a battery, see if the internet went down, see if our power went down, whatever happened. So to do this, we're going to go back to the real-time alerts. We're going to create a new alert, and we're going to, again, I'm going to rush through a few bits here. So if you're not familiar with this, just check out some of the previous videos. But I'm going to go and asset source again. I'm going to select my CO2 topic. I'm going to select the date column. Now this is different to what we've done before because we are not comparing values, we're comparing the date when that value was added to the system. So when that sensor actually took that reading, and then in this one we're going to concentrate still on the CO2 sensor. Now we need a timer because we're going to be looking to see when this data was created, and we're going to look to see if we can do that every hour. So if I click on the hourly option here, I get a few options. We can go up to every 12 hours, but I'm going to keep it for now at every hour. So that means that every hour we're going to see what the most recent data was, and if it's too old, then we're going to send an alert. So I'm going to hit create, and I'm going to call this alert my CO2 device checker. And I'm just going to save that. So now what we need to do is we need to do the comparison of the date. Now, the way it does this is it looks at minutes from now. So if you imagine that this alert is going to be triggering every hour, and then every hour it's going to get the latest date and time when the data was created, or the most recent timestamp when some data was added to the system. It's going to say, okay, how long ago was that? It's going to go back a certain amount of period of time into the past, and if the time when the sensor sent us data is even older, then we're going to consider that to be a malfunction, and we're going to send an alert. So what we want to do is we want to add on the less than or equal to. Okay, so this basically says, okay, go back in time 120 minutes. So the value here is just going to be 120 minutes. So this is always going to be in minutes. And we're going to create that, and I'll go through this again. If it's kind of not making a huge amount of sense, I'll go through this again in a second. But we're just going to link those two, and then we're going to set up an email here to say hello@glas-data.com to say the sensor stopped working, and we're going to keep this as an alert level because we obviously really care about this and we need to take some action. So we're going to create that, and then we're going to link these two up. And that's done. So just to go through this quickly, what we're doing is every hour we are receiving the most recent piece of data, and we're looking at the date at which that data was created. We're then going to compare that with the date which is now minus 120 minutes. So we're going to go back 120 minutes if the data is within that time period. So basically, if the data which we received most recently is newer than 2 hours ago, then we consider this to be fine. But if it's not newer than 2 hours ago, then we consider this to be malfunctioning, and we're going to send an email. I hope that makes sense. Do get in touch if you've got any questions about this, And as usual, happy dataing.